I think the Broomfield Depot is not only the past, but it really is a part of the future. Because without the past, there is no future.
Well, the Broomfield Depot is the Broomfield Depot Museum, where we collect Broomfield history, preserve it and save it for everybody. This building was built in 1909 as a depot down on 120th in Old Broomfield.
The Broomfield Depot, I think, was extremely important to Broomfield because it really was the only way people got around. My Aunt Marcy went to high school in Louisville, Colorado, because there was no high school in Broomfield. And the way she got there was the train. Went up to the depot, got on the train every day, and it dropped her off in Louisville, and that's how she got to high school.
They lived off their land, off their cattle, their horses, their eggs, their chickens. That's what they lived on. The telephone came in 23. The electric cost $5, and most of the people didn't even have $5 to do that. And plus that, they were scared to death of it. It was either going to shock them or blow up or whatever. Much better to have a kerosene lamp or their candles, because they were used to that, you see. And that's what they had. And the agent kept the trains running, kept the trains on schedule so that there weren't accidents, so that when people came to take the train, because this was very rural. There were very few cars. In fact, there weren't any. It was all the railroad.
On October 17th, we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of this depot. And it's going to be open to the public, and we want everyone to come and see what is here.
I'm extremely excited about the 100th anniversary of the depot because, as I said, I was born here. My dad was born here. My grandmother and grandfather farmed here on one of the old original farms. And to be a part of that 100th year anniversary of the Broomfield Depot, it just means the most to myself and my family. The depot, the celebration, and the people are the most important part. Peggy has just done such a magnificent job keeping a lot of this still alive and in the hearts of children. And you know how kids love trains anyway. And then you tell them a little of the history and they're really excited about it. We decided to do something really exciting. The Broomfield Historic Land Board put together a project of a cookbook. And it isn't just an average cookbook. It's a cookbook that has recipes from a lot of the original farmers' wives that were in Broomfield. So in this cookbook, you're going to see Jenny Pierce and her recipe, and underneath it, it's going to say the farm where Gate and Green is now. Or you're going to see Amelia Kozisak, my grandmother, the farm where the Bruner house now sits. So you're going to see all these recipes, and we have a picture in this cookbook of a lot of the older ladies with a little club called Merry Mix. And they would get together once a month, and when you see that, you're going to see my mother, you're going to see me as 2 years old, you're going to see Viola Crooks, one of the great pioneers of Broomfield, you're going to see Lib Bruner, who actually lived in the Bruner house when it was at its original spot on 120th. So it's really exciting because we wanted to combine a little history, we wanted to do the past, the present, and the future. The cookbooks are going to be available at Broomfield Days this year. They're also available at the City and County of Broomfield and also at the museum right here at the Broomfield Depot. The depot actually houses many, many collections. For instance, a lot of people, if they lose a loved one and if their loved one was very active in the community, they will call Peggy and say, we'd like to bring this.
We carry Broomfield history. We have many, many photographs. We have lots of people that know a lot about Broomfield history. We have an extensive collection of out-of-print railroad books that have been donated to the museum that we're very, very fortunate to have. But we have many other things here. We have a lot of vintage clothing. There are 2 bedrooms upstairs. One is the children's room. It is full of antique dolls, antique clothing for children. We can do displays on many, many, many things. This room right here in the museum is the agent's room. And this is where all of the railroad business was conducted. This is the equipment that he kept all of the trains running, coming, going, in and out, so that they didn't wreck and so that everything ran smoothly. These are the whys. People would come into the agent's room or up to the window here and say they wanted to send a note to whomever, Aunt Clara, in Colorado Springs. They would write their note. The agent would attach it to the Y. When the train went by that was going to Colorado Springs, the agent would take this Y out, and the engineer would take this string on his arm with him, with the note, to the depot in Colorado Springs. This is the pot-bellied stove that heated the depot. There was no electricity in here. It was all done by kerosene lamps. And this safe is original to the building. We have the combination, we don't use it, but this is our wonderful, wonderful safe that is original to the depot. We also have broom corn over here. This is how Broomfield got its name. It was grown all over here in Broomfield. Then we go into the waiting room. The people could come in and sit on the bench and wait for the train, or wait for family to come in on the trains, or wait to go on the train, or whatever they were doing. That bench is original to the building. We have our wonderful bell. This bell was donated to us, and it was donated by the Robinson family here in Broomfield, and it was out on the Gouger farm. We also have some uniforms. This one's from the Korean War, and we have another one over here from the World War I. This is a 1903 map of Broomfield, an original map, and as you can see on it, there's hardly anything on it. There was nothing much here in Broomfield. These cards are the Christmas cards, and these are Broomfield history because these will never be done again. These Christmas cards are done by the Arts and Humanities people that are in the Arts Council here in Broomfield. This is our collection of Shep memorabilia. Shep is our dog, Broomfield's dog, my dog, that's going to be moved up here really soon to save him, preserve Shep, and his 2 stones and his fence is going to be moved over here, hopefully, really soon. This is another overview of Broomfield in 1956. This was just donated to us about 2 weeks ago from a lady here in Broomfield. And this is the Broomfield Post Office. You had to have your post office box, and everybody had their own number, and you had to do it. It cost $1 a month, but that's the only way you got your mail until 1951. Okay, this is our history file. We start with Mary Wright. She was the first woman in Broomfield to have a business, and she had the Broomfield Cheese Factory in 1899. These are some of the school children. This is the old brick school that was on Main. And here's the depot being moved in 1976. This is the depot on its original site down there on 120th. This is the depot being moved up here. Here's where it is on its new site. There was absolutely nothing up here. And then we have a wonderful, wonderful collection of railroad books. We're so proud of our railroad books. Charles Bernard, and he'd keep bringing these books over and keep bringing them over, and then he passed away, and well, we really miss him. And this is a collection of Lou Walther's fans and her inkwells. When Lou passed away, her family said to me, now you come and take whatever you want for your museum. Mother would want you to have. And we have 2 Broomfield postcards. We have this one and that one. And those are the only 2 that I've been able to find. If anybody finds a Broomfield postcard, please let me know. This is our kitchen, and you can tell we've had fun in here in our kitchen. And it was originally the kitchen. This is our really, really nifty 1900 vacuum cleaner. One person would run the hose, and the other person would run this like this, and that causes suction to suck the dirt into the vacuum cleaner. These 3 buildings that we're looking at now came from the Crawford estate and the Crawford family. This is the outhouse, this is the pump house or the well house, and this is the honey house. This is the honey house that we're in now. The honey house was built in 1905, and it was Mr. Crawford's honey farm, and it was out at 3550 West 120th Avenue. This is the first Broomfield history book, and this was done the bicentennial in 1975. It's not available to purchase anymore. It's at the library, but this is a wonderful pre-history of Broomfield. 7 years ago, Sylvia Pettum was hired by the city to do this history book. And this one's still available to purchase. And then read these two Broomfield history books because they're priceless. Well, it's important to me because it is the past. And if you can't look at it and share it, then what do you have? You don't have anything if you don't have the history preserved and saved. And that's what we've done up here, is to preserve and save Broomfield history. And the railroad was big in Broomfield and big in Broomfield history. This has been my passion, my life, since '69. I've been involved with this museum, or the moving of it, or the getting ready for it, or the having it here, and it means a lot. It means a whole lot.
Broomfield history is right here in this depot. Anytime you come in, there's always something so interesting that you have no idea how all of this started.
I can look in every corner and see something that has been an experience up here with people that I've met, children up to 99 years old that I've experienced many, many, many wonderful things with.
Broomfield has so much history, and thank goodness that a big part of it is right here in this building in the Broomfield Depot.